Hi, I'm Carl Anderson of Kugae Gundogs. Delivery, getting a dog to deliver to you and getting it to deliver to you perfectly, exactly how we want. There's a process. We start off with any dog with a tennis ball. We then build up to a small dummy, half-pound dummy, and then a pound dummy. So there's a process through it. From then we build up onto cold game, and then we would go on to warm game. So we've placed a dummy out now for this little dog, and he's looking at me and he's saying, I want that dummy. So we're going to push him back and we're going to look at his delivery, and we're hoping for a perfect delivery. We'll bring a few dogs out and we'll just look at how the delivery is with some other dogs, and we'll try and just use Spaniels for this. We'll do another one of this on Labradors, but today we're just going to use Spaniels. So he's looking at me intensely and he's saying, okay, I want that. So all I've got to say is his name, and he'll go back, Kugae. And he's pushed back, he's got the dummy. He's coming in, and I want him to sit there till I took it off him, and I would come down and I'll just take it straight off him. And I've got everything I want. He's still sat there. So that's what I would call the perfect delivery, but that isn't always the case. We have dogs what mess around, and we need to understand why they mess around. Obviously it's gone wrong somewhere. Some dogs just will not deliver, and we can't get away from the fact of it. They'll mess around. Some dogs will spin round you, but there's ways we can tidy it up with all the dogs. But what happens is when we get into the shoot world and we're shooting, on the shoot day things go wrong, and we tend to get a dog to come into us and we grab it off it really quick and we forget about the tidiness of it. Or a dog's coming back to us and another bird falls out the sky. So there's lots to go on. But if we kind of slow it down and we turn around and say, right, let's just concentrate on one thing at a time. So there we had Kugae looking at me. We then pushed him out. He then got the dummy, he brought it back in, and we took it off him. We've got the dummy here, and he sat focusing on me. So he's doing everything we want him to do. So just temporarily, let's put Kugae away and get Mr. Wolf out. So we've now changed over and we've got Wolf out, and we're just going to try the same exercise with Wolf, and we're just going to look at Wolf's delivery compared to Kugae's. Now Wolf is a pure hunting machine, but his delivery is good, but he'll act a little bit different to Kugae. So again, I've got that focus, he knows it's there, and he's asking me what I want him to do. Wolf. So he's gone out, it's his job to find it, he's got it. Now he's going to come in. Now look what he's going to do. Yeah. Now that's a very, very common thing for a Spaniel, but I could have stopped that if I would have broke it down into smaller little chunks. So let's just repeat this again, and let's stop this from happening in the first place. And then over a period of time, we can get the perfect delivery for him. Now I over exaggerated that, and I let Wolf do that for the purpose of the camera. Sit. So I'm just going to place the dummy out. Now this time again I've got my focus, so this is perfect. This is going absolutely right. He's looking at me, he knows where it is, it's not a difficult retrieve. Wolf. Now I've got my whistle ready this time. He's picked it up, he's going to come in like a rocket. Now just by putting the stop whistle on there, I tidied it up. If I wanted to tidy this up a little bit more, we can go onto a place board and it will really tidy it up. We can then go onto a raised place board. We have raised place boards what are so high off the ground, the dogs jump up and we're at each other's level, and then we can get the absolute perfect delivery. But this is on dummies, this is what the dogs are trained to do. But there's a transition now where we have to change this into game, cold game. So what we'll do, we'll just put Mr. Wolf away a minute, we'll get Kugae out and we'll use some cold game, and then we'll show you again with Wolf. So this is just swapping dogs around a little bit. We can bring other Spaniels out and do exactly the same. I'm just going to use these two for this purpose. Right, so we're going to try the same thing. We've got a duck out there, you can see now he's mad keen. and he was looking at the movement of my hand, so that's handler error. I've got my focus and he's just waiting for that word to say it, back. So we've pushed him back, he's picked the duck. Just going to clap my hands, I just want to bring him in. He's coming in, come on. See, he was going to drop it there. I was just that little bit more careful. Come here. And I got the perfect delivery, I got exactly what I wanted, but I had to interfere with it a little bit. I just had to bring in that little bit of recoil, come down to his level, and he came straight into me. So we're just looking at different spaniels here and how they react differently. So let's just put little Cougar away at the minute and get Mr. Wolf out. So now we've got Wolf back out, so we're just switching the dogs around, and what we're trying to say here is this is the characters of the dogs, and they've all got fabulous points and they've all got weak points. So we work on the strengths, and if they're a little bit weaker at something, that just needs that little bit more training to get them in the field. Now we'll swap the duck now this time for a hare. He's a big powerful dog and he should pick it up like a little doll. So again, I've got my focus, he knows where it is. He's marked it, but I want him to look at me. Now, if he was in the trialling world, we'd want him on the mark, but I don't. I want him to look at me because I might not want to send him for it. If we're working Wolf or Cougar, Rosie, Tia, or any other one of the Spaniels, flushing birds for the guns, and the guns have got their own dogs, it's not their job. It's their job to flush them. It'll be the customer's job to retrieve that with one of the retrievers. So he's doing everything I want. Let's see where it goes right and let's see where it goes wrong. Wolf. Now he's gone down. Now he's picked this hare up. Come here. See, he's still trying to parade with it. But I've intervened there a little bit and I've got exactly what I want. But that's quite a big heavy animal this hare is. Sit. And then I've got everything else I want from him. I want my focus. So we're just going to put him away at the minute and put Cougar away. And we're going to get a little Tia out and we're going to show you what an immature dog does, because her delivery is not very good and it needs work on. And she's going to be one of them dogs in life where we're always going to have a little bit of a problem with her delivery, but eventually it'll come right, but we're not to rush it. So we'll put these two away, we'll get a little Tia out and have a little talk with her. So we've got a little Tia out now. Now Tia is just a little bit over a year old and her delivery is just not there yet. This dog hunts like anything you've ever seen before. She's absolutely brilliant. She'll sit to shot, she'll turn on the whistle, she'll do everything she wants, she'll retrieve, but it's just that little bit of delivery. Now it's more because she's immature, so we don't want to rush her on. We could force it out of her, but then we're gonna, if we're not careful, when you start forcing these dogs and you start suppressing them too much, you lose the drive. So, and it's not really worth losing the way she works just for a delivery. We have lots of other dogs who can retrieve and deliver, but she will deliver, it's just that last little bit. So we have to think outside the box. This is one of these tricky ones where we have to start saying, okay, how can we do this? And the process is going to be slow. We know we can get her to jump in the truck with a dummy, so then we can get a little bit of delivery. We know we can get her to take it back to a kennel, so we can get a little bit of delivery. But when we come down, she plays with it with a paw, so it's just immatureness. We know when she does cold game or warm game, she'll bring it in that little bit further and we kind of get half-hearted delivery. So a lot of people will turn around and say, oh, this dog's rubbish, it won't deliver. You've got to give them time, they've got to mature. You know, she's not really going to go in the field till she's 2-year-old, and then she'll have more training. We have done a little bit of shooting over her, but only on a little low key, only on small days, just to make sure her training's going perfect and she handles everything perfect. She can sit, she can focus, she's sweet. But every dog has got its strengths and every dog has got its weaknesses. And there is no point in getting frustrated when you find a weakness and saying, oh, the dog's rubbish, it can't do it, it's no good for this, it's no good for that. It is. We've just got to come through that. If every dog trained perfectly and we got them all to 95%, it'd be an absolute boring world. You know, we'll always remember them for for the characters and the things they did wrong. Right, so again, what we've done now, we've changed the dummies, because there's no point in giving her a pound dummy if she's going to struggle with it at this stage. She's going to play around with it. There's no point in giving her a tennis ball anymore, for the simple reason it bounces and she plays with it with her paws through, being immature. So we have to think outside the box and come onto these little puppy dummies. So here's a rabbit one, and here's a little puppy dummy filled with foam. And I like all the dummies to replicate the game bird. So if we're going to use a dummy, this one represents a mallard, this one represents a rabbit. We need to keep everything, the percentages on our side. You know, we're not in an early stage, we would use a different coloured dummy, but when we get going with these dogs, we need to replicate and hide something so they can sniff it out and look for things themselves. So all I'm going to do with this little dummy, I'm going to ask her to sit, and I'm going to place it down. Yeah, she's laid down. I've thrown the dummy, she's marked it. This time I've used the little mallard one. You can see she's keen to go, but she's looking at me. Now some people wouldn't be pleased because she's laid down. It doesn't bother me, you know, and then you can use the word sit up and get them to sit up. I'm not really bothered at this stage. She's hunting perfect. I don't want to start and putting loads of different pressure on other things. I'm not in a rush to train her, so we'll tidy everything up. So all we're going to say is back, and she's going to go back. She's got the dummy, and you can see now she's going to play with it. And what's going to happen, she's going to come in, come on, and she's going to play with it here, and then she's going to drop it. Yeah. Now, if I start saying to her, sit, if I start saying shout and grab her and get hold of her and chase her and one thing and another, I'm just going to absolutely spoil this dog, and I'm going to have an absolute real big problem on my hands. So what we're going to do, what we've learned with her over a period of time, as you do with working with any dog, you've got to learn the little quirks and how we get things right. So again, we're going to use the same dummy. She's sat, she's focused. We're going to put the dummy down. We're going to come back to her. Come here. Okay, she wants to do that. Come here. Back. Now, she's going to find that dummy. Once she finds it, there's a lot of leaves around, let her find it. So she's found it. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to walk away. And what she's going to do, she's going to carry that dummy. Yeah? So what I've learnt out of this, come on then, come on. TT, come on. Sit. See, the pressure's on. What I've learnt there is I can get her to carry the dummy. So now, TT, come here. Sit. What I can do now I can get her to carry this dummy, now I can get her to jump in the car with this dummy, I can work on the delivery. But all this is now, it's immatureness. That's purely immatureness what it is. By coming down to a level, she's not a lovable dog, she's never ever been a lovable dog, look. She'll come in for a stroke, but if you didn't stroke her, she wouldn't be bothered. So we haven't got that where she'll jump into us every time. TT, come here. With this dog, what we need on our side is more time and more age. When she gets to 2-year-old, I'm pretty sure she'll be delivering this dummy a perfect like the other ones do. You know, she'll be more like Kugae than Wolf. Wolf comes in and he's this big excited thing, he's shaking with anticipation, but when he goes through the undergrowth, he kind of parts the briars. It's like God parting the seas when Wolf goes through. You know, we have to be careful. When he goes through the sugar beet, all the leaves are popping off all over the place, whereas Kugae's nice and gentle. She's elegant, she'll climb a tree. Rosie is so gentle, she like tiptoes through. So they've all got their own characters. And when it comes to delivery, they've all got their own characters. But if you've got Spaniels what will focus on you, go out for a dummy and bring it in, you've just got to understand how we get that next little bit here, whether we use a raised place board, whether we use a flat place board, we don't use a place board. We've got to use something. Most of them, if you come down to the level, they'll come in. You see, like she comes in, like little Tia, yeah? but she's not a fuss pot. She's a bouncy little thing, and it's just a nature. That's all it is. She's an addictive little thing. When she was younger, she wouldn't really want to be in and around anyone. She was never a cuddly puppy. So what we did, when we was driving around and we was feeding the pheasants and one thing and another, she'd be in the passenger seat, and then she'd slowly come up and curl up on my lap, and that was the way we got her in. She was when we got her at a small puppy, she was quite feral. It doesn't mean, you know, she wasn't loved. It's her nature, and we've got to work to these dogs to the nature. You know, it's come a long way, and she's going to be an outstanding dog. So that's just a little insight into Spaniels. We'll do the same thing with Labradors and delivery, and where Labradors put the heads down and they won't come in, or they spin round, they run off, they pick one dummy, chase another dummy. It's a little bit more in depth with the Labrador, I suppose, than these Spaniels, because Spaniels we're not sending out very far. Labradors we can push back hundreds and hundreds of yards. Where's she gone? Sit there. She's got a feather now, look. You can push them back hundreds of yards. There's a lot more what can go wrong. But that's just an insight. So if you've got a dog and the delivery's wrong and it's not delivery, rather than get annoyed with it and force it and get excited one thing or another, try and understand which bit's going wrong, why it's going wrong. Is it immature? Have you forced it? Have you done too much retrieving? A lot of our dogs were not really interested in retrieving when we get to the older dogs who were more experienced. Come on, sit down. More experienced, would rather keep them steady, would rather be able to work them. Retrieving, once they can generally retrieve, they can retrieve. The delivery, yes, wants tidying up. But if we get the foundations right and the obedience right, generally the rest come into place. Not one of these dogs have you seen run off and go and do its own thing and pee up that tree or chase something or lose interest. She's now losing interest just that little bit more, but again, it's her age. Come here, sit. But again, I bring her in and I sit her. So if we've got the foundations right and the obedience right, the rest kind of follows, and then we're in a good place. So just have a look at your little Spaniels, whether they're Springers, Cockers or any other variety of Spaniel, and just say, right, okay, that's the delivery, where have I gone wrong? Just break it down, and most things can be put right. And even a little dog like this who wants to play, it's just immatureness. Once she matures, we'll be in a lot better place. Thanks for watching.